Recruitments will be happening, and in today's video I will tell you exactly why this scenario is something that simply must happen in future. Now, whatever you're going to be here in this video, I can assure you 100% that you have never heard it in any of the cabin crew consultants, the other cabin crew consultants that you're following on your social media platforms. Therefore, I strongly suggest to you all to stay engaged until the last minute of this video. Perhaps you also want to click the subscribe button for all the other videos that are coming. My name is Julia George. I used to be cabin crew and flew for Qatar Airways for 10 years, where I have resigned from my last work position as a cabin service director. I'm currently living in Germany, studying master's studies in aviation management at Wildau Institute of Applied Science in Berlin, and I'm currently also working as a snore lab assistant in Helios Clinic in Schwerin. In today's video, the things that I want to present to you are related to something called the market trends in the aviation industry. And all those market trends that we're going to be talking about, or I'm going to be talking about in this video, are something that is going to lead the industry to a certain or a secure future recruitment. And this is not only related to recruitments to cabin crew, but also literally recruitments in all the sectors in the aviation industry. For those of you who are maybe currently a cabin crew, this is a great opportunity, or this video is a great opportunity for you if you're looking for a career progress within the industry, as there is, I will present to you actually a content that is going to be equally interesting for you as well. You will hear things that might trigger your mind, that you might want to change departments, but we're going to come to all those market trends in a while. And let's start with the first market trend, which I believe is something very important to be talked about, and I'm very sure that you know about this market trend. Let's look for the moment at market trend called passengers volumes. Now, the passenger volume grows on daily basis as the industry has been adapting to the new COVID standards, and we are witnessing that the passenger number worldwide is growing on daily basis, slowly but surely, and we all know that is due to the travel restrictions still being very strong in some parts of the world. Now, we need to always have in mind that passenger aviation is actually an industry that it is in high demand, or civil aviation is industry in high demand. Over the next 28 years, people or individuals that do research have forecasted that there will be a growth in the demand for aircrafts, and they have said during the research that they have made, there will be 30 to 35,000 new civil aircrafts which will be introduced worldwide, and also they have forecasted the worth of these aircrafts, and they said that it's going to be approximately $5 trillion for 30 to 35,000 new civil aircrafts. Now, according to one of the major OEM, or OEM is a shortcut that stands for original equipment manufacturer. So according to one of the original equipment manufacturer, one of the major original equipment manufacturer, the greatest demand for these aircrafts that are going to be introduced in future, approximately 71% is for a single aisle aircraft. Then we have around 24% for the twin aisle or the dual aisle aircraft, and 5% for the very large aircrafts. And over here, when we say a single aisle aircraft, we mean 737 MAX, we mean 320 Neo Airbus. When we say dual aisle, we mean 787, we mean Airbus 350. And when we say the large aircraft that we talk about 5%, we mean on Airbus 380. Aircraft like Airbus 380 double deck. Now, according to the aviation experts, worldwide the airline traffic is predicted to grow steadily by around 5% per year. But we talk about over here about things that are predictions, which are forecasts, and which is the job of the researchers. Another market trend, which I think it's worth to talk about, and it's a concern, is something called the ecological flying. Now, the growth and the passenger volume numbers that we talked about, as well as the current market developments, are also being triggered by something called the need to replace large parts in airplanes that are still in service. Now, the airplane operating or the aircraft operating costs are significantly affected by something called aircraft fuel consumption levels. This is a hot topic worldwide when it comes to aviation, innovation, and the future. This has led to ongoing technology development efforts which are focused on the sustainable reduction of fuel consumption. I was so interested in learning about this when we were doing our project at Hamburg Airport for the Green Airport proposal, and indeed this is something that I really like. And I think that that is the future for the aviation when we talk about these market trends. Alongside with the technological advances that are made in the aircraft engine design, there is also something new that is introduced, and those are the new materials and the composites, as well as there are changes to the overall aircraft design. For example, there are aircraft who are retrofit with other types of seats, which are more, which I would say are lighter, and those are not so heavy. When I mean are not so heavy, I mean that they're helping the aircraft to be lighter, and they will increase, in this case, the fuel efficiency levels through the reduced weight and through something called improved aerodynamics. This is something which I have learned from my aviation technology subject, yet I have not went into details to know actually how the aircraft flies, and I promise I will never make a video about how the aircraft flies, because I don't think I'll be able to learn that. My full respect to all those engineers and pilots out there. You guys are just awesome. Now let's go back to the subject. The innovative aircraft interiors are also helping to speed up the way towards more ecological and more comfortable models, which are being introduced in the air travel. Now, these and all other measures are actually contributing to different climate protection goals. There are people, groups, associations and organizations that are working towards this. They are very ambitious when it comes to protecting climate protection goals. These kind of goals are actually something that Europe's Flight Path 2050, it's actually a program, an aviation strategy that has them incorporated in their plan. When we talk about the plan for Flight Path 2050 for Europe, when it comes to the agenda, the strategy of Flight Path 2050 foresees a reduction of carbon dioxide and the nitrogen oxide emissions per passenger kilometer of 75% and 90% respectively by the year 2050, relatively to the capabilities of typically new aircraft that has been introduced in the early 2000s. Now, the noise emissions are also something that this strategy, the 2050 Flight Path strategy, has been dealing with, and also they say that the noise should be reduced by 65% over the same period that we talked by the year of 2050. So we are looking at a period of time when aircrafts will be flying more quiet. There will be no such loud noise for takeoff and landing. For those of you that are living near an airport, you all know very well what I mean. Now, Europe has a research framework program also, which is called Horizon 2020. And this Horizon 2020 offers very promising research and development support for the development of more sustainable, safer, and more integrated mobility solutions when it comes to the aviation industry. So some fun facts to know about these ecological programs. There's an interesting part which I want to talk to you about, and it's called the Industry 4.0 and connectivity. Now, just like me, if you have heard about this term for the first time, Industry 4.0, you might probably are asking yourself, now, what does that Industry 4.0 means? I heard it somewhere last year when I was attending a webinar. Then I took the time to research and then I read more about it. Now, Industry 4.0 actually refers to the intelligent networking of machines and processes for an industry, which has the aim to help the information and the connection of the technology, basically to combine them together. I call this something as an intelligent networking. Now, from the smart manufacturing point of view, the Industry 4.0 to the airline planning cycle and revolution, and the down of the in-flight connectivity, if you may say, the digital revolution is something that is having a significant effect when it comes to the airspace industry, when it comes to the aviation, when it comes to the new aircrafts. To reduce the complexity of what I said previously and to give a more pragmatic example over here, I want to say that we can see that the IT solutions actually penetrating in all the aspects of the airline productions and operations, including maintenance, including engineering, including ground and in-flight operations, etc., etc. The real-time data actually enables quick reaction times to the operational environmental changes, like, let's say, weather conditions, like air traffic congestion, etc., etc. And at the same time, the ground operations can be accelerated, can be, enhanced. Therefore, or thereby, the increasing with this thing, we are going to be able to increase the airplane utilization time. What do I want to say when I say this? We want the aircrafts to spend less time on ground, and we want the aircrafts to be more up in the air and more to fly, because the more aircraft is up in the air and is flying, the more profit it brings. The longer time the aircraft spends on the ground, the more money it loses. This is the aim for all the airlines, irrespective if it is a commercial airline, a cargo airline, whatsoever. Everyone aims for the same thing when it comes to what I have said previously. Now, the growing passenger dependence actually on personal electronic devices allowed some airlines to replace their costly and their heavily in-flight entertainment systems with steamed content. And this has been done by Qatar Airways, which I know about this plan long ago. When I was there, it was shared as an idea that they're working on it, and now in some aircrafts it has been implemented. You no longer have the in-flight entertainment and individual screens, but you have a Wi-Fi connectivity, and you can choose, to watch whatever you want on your personal device, which I think is very nice, and I think that it actually contributes to towards the weight that we talked previously. Now, potential areas of applications are numerous, and they all provide opportunity for further improved production actually, and further improved operation, as well as maintenance efficiency. We come to the point of the customer satisfaction, and we come to the point to enhanced safety. All these aspects that I mentioned, production, operation, maintenance, customer satisfaction, safety, they all go together because they're all part of the airline or of the aviation industry. Now we come to the question that most probably you will be asking in a comment below this video. And that question is going to be when airlines are going to start their famous recruitment processes. Julia, you talked about so many market trends in this video. You talked about the passenger number, you talked about the environment, you talked about the technology, you talked about 4.0. Can you tell us when airlines are going to start their recruitment processes? I really cannot wait. No. On this question, I don't think that the airlines have ever stopped recruiting. During the entire pandemic, we are all witnesses that recruitings were happening, maybe not to cabin crew, certainly not to cabin crew for the Middle Eastern airlines, certainly not pilots, due to the pandemic, as many of them were actually sufficient or were all more for the flights that have been reduced. However, certain jobs, as I have mentioned, were there, and those were there because the demand for those jobs was based on the need for them. You would see that a lot of customer service jobs were there when it comes to the ground jobs. Now, based on the market trends that we have discussed previously in this video, we have to know and understand that these are the trends that are determining what will be the future job vacancies that will be coming up, and we are going to be seeing on the website of the airlines that we want to work for. A precise way to tell you when aviation is gonna recover and reach the pre-pandemic volume, because if you want to go into more details now, we have to first of all wait that the aviation comes to the numbers of the pre-pandemic volume that they had. Simply an answer to this question is not possible. I cannot tell you we can have that until the end of this year, beginning of next year, and I don't think that the answer of this question even a chief executive of an airline can tell you, because COVID-19 has showed up a lot of resilience, has showed up a lot of mutations as well, and the vaccination process is something that still goes on and produces data that later on, I talk a lot about data, but it's very important to understand that this data is something that later on we will be looking at to give further expertise and to give further answers to the question when aviation is going to recover, coming to the numbers pre-pandemic. Not so long ago on my Instagram account, excrewnextcrew, I have presented there a research from an IATA analyst who has shared that this year we're going to come to the 50% of the pre-pandemic volume that aviation industry had. Basically, that was the 2019 volume, and he said that over the next 3 to 5 years we are going to be able to reach the 100% pre-pandemic before we go to further expansion. Yet my strong suggestion is to you all to right now at the moment deal of what are the things that you are going to be dealing with, or what are you going to be learning, where are you going to be working if you're unemployed, you have graduated. Please find a job as soon as possible with an aim that perhaps can be a customer service job. If you would like to study, I do have a video of what are the topics or what are the majors that I believe are relevant, that later on will help you to secure a job at 40,000 feet. As I have said, gaining customer service experience, being subscribed on my YouTube channel over here, and last but not the least, you might also read my blogs on my website, excrewnextcrew. Thank you so much for watching this video, and I'm going to be seeing you very soon. Bye bye and have a nice day.